guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is just going to be a very chill get ready with me. I'm just going to show you all some new products that I got recently and try them out and give you my first impressions. Here is one of the things that I'm so excited about. I can't wait for you guys to see this in action. We're also going to be trying out the new Natasha Denona foundation. If you are interested in any of those plus much more, just keep watching this video. Don't forget though, before you leave, go ahead and subscribe and give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get ready. Let's jump into this video. Look at this. We have a box full of new goodies to play with. I'm just going to do a very casual get ready with me today using all these new products. I'm going to start with toner today, and I'm going to use the Rhode glazing milk. I did get two different samples. I believe this one came from Rhode and I got this one from Sephora. This is just a little sample pack, and then this one is 20 mLs. This is a really good amount to try, so I appreciate when brands do that. Starting with this glazing milk. And guys, I know this is not meant for oily skin, but I just want to try it. You never know until you try. It could be a really nice product. It goes on very milky, and then as you blend it in, it starts to get a little bit tacky, and it is definitely providing that glow, which, have no fear, I have other products that will help that. And I want to use this Macreen Actives High Performance Face Serum. Another little sample that I got from Sephora, and I just want to try it. It's been sitting here for a while, and it's time to give it a go. It says a face serum, but it's... Look at my hands from that glazing milk. Super hydrated. Wow. This feels more like a lotion, which is odd. But I'm going to use some of this, and then I'll just skip out on moisturizer since this feels very thick. Once you blend it in, it does feel a little bit more lightweight, but I'm going to let it really sink in while I do my eyes and my brows. I'm putting the rest of this on my hands because my hands stay super dry from washing them and using so much sanitizer at work. They also have the Macreen Actives High Performance Eye Cream. Now, this one feels lightweight in the little pack, but I think I'm going to skip out on this one today because I don't want anything too thick under my eyes. I'm going to go with the Goop Glow Vita C Brightening Eye Cream, which is still pretty new to me as far as purchases. I got a sample from Sephora and fell in love with it. If you have never seen me use this or talk about it, it's so good. So hydrating. And we're going to let that sit. Wow. I'm like reflective. I see all these viral videos of like Shelby Ann and Michaela, everyone saying your skin needs to be looking like this before you put on makeup. They end up looking flawless with their powders and everything on, so I'm gonna go for it. I don't have a ton of plans today, just maybe like grocery store and stuff, so I don't care. I would never do something this hydrating if I had to wear my makeup for a long time. It would not work for my skin. I got another Valentino Born in Roma. It's the Green Stravaganza. This is one of my new most complimented scents, and if you pull this little green thing up, you can see that I barely have any left. Here in the past few days, I've been mixing the Kayali Bougie Marshmallow with this. So good. And I just go for the travel size because, first of all, I don't have enough room for another big bottle of perfume right now. And secondly, it's so expensive. I'm getting serious. I'm pulling my sleeves up. I have the Maybelline Super Lock Brow Glue. Now, I've had this product in the past. Back when I used this, I didn't have the same brow routine. I feel like I might appreciate it a little bit more now. The way that I do my brows, I usually use brow gel first and then complete them and give them that laminated look. I wanted to try it again and see if my thoughts have changed because I've seen so many people compare this to Rare Beauty, so I have to try it. You all know that's my favorite. If I can find something cheaper that works just as good, I'm all for it, but it hasn't happened yet. I'm going to take my towel from where I was in the shower and wipe around my brows to make sure there's not too much skincare there before we continue. So if you've never seen the Super Lock from Maybelline, that is the wand, and you can see the gel on top. This is more of like that gel formula. I just saw yesterday that Nakia Joy Cosmetics has dropped a new brow. It's called the Sculpt Brow, and she says it is a brow gel and a brow wax combination, and I'm so curious to try that out because I love her products, so I can't wait to try it. But I will tell you guys, I'm going to slow down on buying a bunch of new products and just try to get through some of the stuff in my collection before I buy anything new, because it's beginning to be a little bit excessive and I just need to use some of these products up. So here in the near future, you might see more videos of like shopping my stash, certain things that I can do to utilize what I already have. I noticed right away that a lot of product was on the spoolie and I don't want to use too much. So I'm just going to go through with the spoolie of the brow pencil I'm going to use later and just comb through and make sure there's not too much, because it's been a while since I've used this and I just don't remember if it's finicky or not when you use too much. Let's go back in with it and see if we can make them a little bit more laminated. I wiped off some of the excess. I'm not mad at it. It doesn't look bad. We're going to let it dry. Now I'm going to prime with the Rare Beauty Eye Primer. Y'all know how I feel about this eye primer. It's one of my favorites. And I like to just spread it around with the brush and then just kind of tap it in place. This pimple has been trying to pop out for like a week now. It's finally made its grand appearance. I don't get pimples a lot, maybe TMI, but I will share with you that I had a hysterectomy years ago and I still have my ovaries, so I still get breakouts. Just about once a month, I get a few little breakouts, but it's never terrible. I do not think it was from filming a Shop Miss A video. If you watched my last video, that was filmed over a week ago. This little buddy was already starting to form then. I'm going to let it sit for a little bit because there's still a lot of skincare on my face, and then I will put on some concealer to try to cover it before we move on to complexion. But first, let's do some eyes. Take a little powder to set the eyes. It's almost gone, you guys. I'm scraping the edges. She's still hanging on. I'm going to use the Natasha Denona I Need a Warm palette today, but I'm also going to use my Danessa Myricks Color Fix stick. I want to try that out again. I need to use this palette to get me some shape, and I might use some of the shimmers too. We'll see. All right, I'm going to mix the shade Ripe and Mellow together as my transition shade. Grab a little bit of both on the BK212 brush. I'm just going for a pretty simple everyday look today. Switch into a Morphe M331. I'm going to go into the shade Fervor. This shade has a lot of kick up in the pan, so just be careful. And it's very warm toned, but that's all right. I want to go for a warm eye look. Fall. We are definitely feeling the fall vibes today. Now I'm going to take this Morphe M383 brush and I'm going to go into the shade Vim, which is right in the center. This is a very teeny tiny brush, but I like it because I can use it to start my wing, but also kind of build it up to where it'll be a soft, more everyday wing. It's going to look messy at first, but that's okay. Trust the process. Now I'm taking my Nikki LaRose N13 brush into the shade Vim again and a little bit of Fervor mixed together and just softly blend everything right here. We're going to clean it up a little bit just so we can see the vision. Now I'm going to grab my BK208 angled liner brush and I'm going to go into the shade Pep. The flash over shade, it's like a cream to powder, and you see I've like dug my brush into it. I just don't like the way that blends, so I'm just going to stick with Pep. And we're going to do some stamping motions right out here at the lash line, right at the base of my lashes. I'm going to move on to the Sephora 12 Hour Colorful Eyeliner in Tiramisu. This is a favorite of mine, and I'm just going to use this first before I do any shimmers. I'm going to use this to tightline. And the reason I do this first is because if you put shimmers down, sometimes it can make it very hard for your eyeliner. So I just like to do it first. Going back to the 208 brush, and I'm just going to take it and stamp it along that eyeliner with nothing else on it. It might still have a little bit of pep on the brush, but that's okay. I just want to kind of spread this eyeliner around and make sure it's set down. I'm going to take the metallic shade from Danessa Myricks, and we're just going to press this all over my lid. It's very pretty. I do like these. I just don't know if they're worth the price. I mean, they are nice. This is the metallic shade, and it's called Cassiopeia. I mean, it's very pretty. It's a little bit underwhelming on the eyelid, I won't lie. Like, it just is. Alright, now we're going to go over to the foil side and use the shade Astra, which I like, but I just wish it wasn't that pinky flip. It's a gold, but it has a little bit of a pink flip to it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. It's nice. It just has like a light pink shimmer to it. Yeah. On the lid, it looks pink. I'm going to go back to my I Need a Warm palette, and I'm going to start with Dynamism. Very pretty. And then the shade Push. And then the shade Snug, which is just a little bit lighter. I'm going to use the shade Fancy, which is really light. And I'm going to mix a little bit of Homey with it. So now it looks like that. Okay. That's a very pretty fall look, and it wasn't overly complicated or anything, and we got to use 2 different products. One Natasha Denona, one Danessa Myricks, and that is just a little hint as to what's to come. Let's use the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Water Powder Serum today as my primer. I usually just use a few drops of this product. I just kind of spread it all over and then press it in, and we will let this dry as we move on to mascara and brows. Let's do some mascara. I have the Clio Kill Lash. This one's the number 20 Bouncy Lash, and it has a super unique curved wand. I'm excited to see if it's anywhere near as good as the black one, because the black is like my favorite. This one's hard to beat. I'm hoping that the only difference is the shape of the wand. I hope the formula is very similar. But where it says bouncy, I'm like, I don't know. I do like the shape of this wand. It's really easy to get into the inner corner and grab all of the inner corner lashes. And then you can also take it and flip it around and use it this way, and it grabs the outer lashes really well. Or you can just take it and use the tip. I like it, but I'm noticing that this formula is not the same. The black version of this mascara, it literally just like lifts your lashes up and they stay super lifted all day long. I'm telling you guys, this reminds me so much of this, the Maybelline Colossal Bubble Mascara. The only difference is the wand, but the formula feels exactly the same. It gives this like soft, fluttery look. Let's just compare. Why not? So similar. Wow. I wasn't expecting that. All right, really quickly, let's use my NARS Soft Matte Concealer. And I'm going to use a little bit of this to cover my little friend here. I'm going to let that sit while we do some brows. I'm going to use the NYX Blade and Shade Nano Brow Pencil. I have it in the shade Ash Brown. And I love this product so much. And I'm excited to have it back in my collection. So far, I think the brow glue from Maybelline, the Super Lock Brow Gel, did really good. Not gonna lie, the brows were a little bit more difficult today, but that's alright. Anytime I stray away from Rare Beauty Brow Gel, that's what happens, but that's okay. We're gonna move on. I have 2 setting sprays that I'm gonna go ahead and spray now. I've got the new Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Matte Blur Setting Spray. You're supposed to shake it. And we're going to do this on one side. I've got my little card from Hourglass. I'm going to hold it and cover. And we're going to spray half of my face with this setting spray. We're going to spray the other side with the new Danessa Myricks. Shake well and prime sprayer before use. Use alone for a blurred look or over makeup to set and smooth. Hold the bottle, blah, blah, blah. Let dry for 2-3 minutes for a long-lasting semi-matte finish. This one has a much louder shaker in it. So, Charlotte, Danessa. Take my Stands Out sponge and press it in. And we're going to use setting spray today as primer. I'm so excited to try this. The Natasha Denona High Glam Foundation. Hydrating and Blurring Longwear Radiant Serum Foundation. I've seen this all over and it does look a little bit radiant, but I've seen people with oily skin say it works. I went with the shade N6 and I was in between choosing N6 and N7, but I went with N6 because it's about to be winter time. I went with a lighter option. This is what the bottle looks like. It's very beautiful. If you've not seen this, which I'd be very surprised if you haven't, if you love beauty, because it's everywhere. I'm going to put a little bit of this out into my hand. I'm going to use a brush on one side and a sponge on the other. I'm going to use the Nikki LaRose N17 and we'll use the brush on the Charlotte side. I'm just going to take this and I'm so glad I went with N6 because that looks almost perfect. If you're new here, my face is always lighter than the rest of my body. I do not put self-tanner on my face. I'm just using whatever was in this brush. I have not went back for more. Still got a ton of product in my hand. But I figured probably should save a lot of it for the sponge side because the sponge side might absorb more product. I knew this was going to be a radiant foundation, but from what I've seen so far, they say you can set this down and it wears well, so I'm excited. I will press it in here in a minute with the Stands Out sponge, but I want to show you guys the Nikia Joy Cosmetics. This is her Pro Perfecting Sponge, and it has this flat side. I want to use this to apply on this side, because I know some people like to use a sponge, and some of you like to use a brush, so we'll do both. I don't think I could have picked a better shade, really. N7 would have probably been a little too dark. It's such a unique formula. It is very serum-like. It feels like you're just putting a tinted serum on. I just hope it dries down. We will see. Very, very glowy right this second. I'm going to take my Stands Out sponge and press it in. I definitely don't feel like it's blurring my skin where I have large pores. I'm super curious to see how this sets down. We're going to go in now with another newer product. This is the Lunar Beauty Outer Dimension Sculpting Stick, and I have it in the shade Medium Sky. And for this, I have one of my new brushes from Crystal Lee Cosmetics. It's the K20 brush. And this looks like a brush you could use for so many different things. But I want to try it out today with this and see how it goes. I've been watching a ton of Hourglass content here recently because they just came out with their holiday palettes. And one of my favorite people to watch, her name's Brittany, and she raves about Crystal Lee brushes. So I was so curious to try it out myself. And I will tell you, they remind me a lot of the Rose and Ben brushes. These are very similar, and I like them a lot. I really do. I'm just going to pick up the product directly from the component, work it into the brush, and then tap it in. Yeah, it's a beautiful brush for a cream contour, cream bronzer. And this Outer Dimension bronzer stick, sculpting stick, whatever it's called, for Lunar Beauty, I really like it. I just kind of wish I would have got one shade darker, but it's a very, very natural sculpt, so I appreciate that. We are sculpted and we are glowy. For nose contour and under my lip, I'm going to use this Morphe Shape Lifter in the shade Refined. I'm going to blend this out. My Patrick Ta nose contour. My candle back here smells so amazing. It's called Fall Festival. It's from Candleberry Company. It smells so good. Taking my Stands Out sponge to tap in around that contour. I'm going to use two different concealers today. So I'm going to use the Danessa Myricks Lift and Flex Concealer on the Danessa Myrick side, and then I'll use Natasha Denona on this side. This is the High Glam Concealer in the shade N4, and I like it. It's a good concealer. And this is the Danessa Myricks Lift and Flex in the shade 6. I'm going to use the Nikki N16 brush to blend this out. I'll use one side of the brush to blend the Natasha and the other side for the Danessa. We've got Natasha versus Danessa. And throw a little Charlotte in there too. Just tapping this in. This is a very serum-like concealer. A little goes a long way. I used a little more than I normally do. Flipping the brush around. The shades are very similar in 4 in Natasha and then 6 in Danessa. Very good formulas, very similar. Taking whatever's on this brush down the center of my nose. Tapping it in with the Real Technique sponge. Alright, we're going to let that sit for a little bit and move on to blush. And then I'll finish blending it. We're going to use the Rhode Pocket Blush in the shade Tan Lines today. I'm going to use the BK112 brush, and I'm just going to pick it up from the component like this. I love it so much. It's so pretty. And it just melts into the skin. Because I want to try out more new products with you guys. The NARS, the multiple stick in the shade Dazed. I've been obsessed with this. I can't stop wearing it. Same thing, picking it up from the component. We're going to add this right on top because it's gorgeous. It just lays so beautifully on the skin. I feel like it just softens out everything. I love it so much. So pretty. I'm going to press in the concealer one more time before we set it. And I'm going to use the new Cali Ray powder in the shade Dawn. I'm just going to use one of my little one size puffs. And for this powder, you just press it into the little net inside. It's looking so smooth and radiant under there. Wow. That looks so good. I just don't feel like that shade really brightens for me, but it looks beautiful and so smooth. I really do enjoy it. I'm going to take this Morphe powder puff and we'll set the rest of my face with this powder. It's very rare for me to use a powder under the eyes and all over the face, but we're going to try it. Let's start in the forehead where it's super shiny. Wow. Where'd all that shine go? Let's do right here. That powder is so blurring. I really enjoy it. Guys, I put this powder in the palm of my hand. I hope you'll be able to see this. Hand that has the Rogue Glazing Milk, all of that. And then this hand had the powder. Look how blurred even the palms of my hands are. That's insanity. I'm going to take my little IT Cosmetics brush and just make sure everything is set. I am so excited to try this out. This is my new Hourglass palette. This is the Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked palette, and I did the customizable option. So I went with the shade 3, which is the deepest option, which you might be thinking is crazy, but let me just show you why. Okay, this is what the inside of my palette looks like. The highlight shade is not going to work for me as a highlight, but I could use it on the lids. Those two blushes are vibrant and beautiful. I already have Lucid Glow, which I'm okay with having a repeat. It's like a blush topper for me. And then the bronzer shades, they will work for me. Let me show you this. I am a huge Hourglass fan. I bought several of the previous year's palettes. This one is the Jellyfish, and you can see I have panned that bronzer. The highlighter is stunning, but these finishing powders are way too light for me. So last year, I couldn't decide. I was like, maybe I should get the medium one, but something told me no, just stick with the light, and I regretted it. I used this palette, but again, the finishing powders are so light. The highlighter shade I do like to use on the inner corner and all over the lid. The bronzer I can use and build up. The blushes are just okay in this palette for me. When Hourglass came out with, here recently, you could customize your own quads. I went with the deepest bronzers and a very deep blush, and I love it. I use it just about every day. I also got this one, which is more of like a light medium tone, and I like it too, but I'm just saying, I knew this year I had to get the deeper palette. So we're going to go in with the bronzer shade, which is Bronze Fusion. And then the finishing powder in Desert Light, we might mix the two. These two shades right here are the shades that I'm going to mix. I'm going to start with the finishing powder, and I have this new brush from Crystal Lee, the K32. I have the finishing powder on the brush. I'm just going to tap it in. And all this is probably going to do for me is warm it up a little bit and bring back that sculpt underneath. Yeah, that's all that's going to do. So let's go into the bronzer shade now. Picked it up on this. And this brush, I'm so excited to like get some wear into it because it's going to be even more soft and fluffy once I use it a little bit more. But I'm already liking it. And especially the size for the pans of Hourglass. It's perfect. I'm going to mix the two shades now and go to the forehead. Yeah, I mean, that's the deep palette, you guys. It's crazy. So excited to try these blushes. We've got Canyon Heat, which is the one I'm most excited about. I'm going to use it on this same brush. It's like this warm orange color. It's so beautiful. Especially for summer or fall, an orange blush is everything. And this formula is so good. I love Hourglass. And I'm going to take a little bit. I'm going to have to, just a little. We'll pop a little bit on the brush. Just on the high points and back here on my cheek. Oh my God. Stunning. I'm going to take a little bit of my One Size powder. I want to use this to just carve out under here like I normally do. And then I tap it over my little pimple that's trying its best to come back out. I will use the highlighter in just a minute on the inner corner and see what that looks like, but you guys, I'm obsessed. I'm going to take a little bit of the At Night shade, and I'm going to use the F14 brush from Shop Miss A for this one. And I'm just going to use a little bit of that on top because why not? I love it. And if you've never seen the shade At Night from Hourglass, you're welcome. It's so beautiful. I'm going to finish up a little bit of brow work with the Faux Brow pen from L'Oreal. I've been loving this in the shade Light Brunette. We're going to recurl these lashes. Much better. Okay, lashes are lifted again. I'm excited to try this product. It's from Rhode, the Peptide Lip Shape, and I got the shade Twist. This is another product that I saw mixed reviews about, but some people seem to love it. So I wanted to try it for myself, and it's supposed to be like a lip contour lip liner. Kind of 2-in-1, if you will. I wanted to go with one of the like mid-tone shades that would be closer to my lips, like my lips but better. And it is a natural like contour looking shade. I like it. Do I think it's going to be like super long lasting? No. But I do like it. I think it looks really good. And then I'll use the Laneige Glaze Craze Tinted Lip Serum. I have the shade Sugar Glaze. These have that super unique little tip, and I need to give this another try. I tried it once, and I was just kind of like bummed out by the shade being too dark. So I just wanted to try it again today. Just use a little bit, and then I'll use the Lunar Beauty Lip Gloss in the shade Coven on top, which has a little shimmer to it. I just felt like a very simple lip look would really go with this look we got going on. Now let's set. I have the Charlotte Tilbury matte on this side again. Give it a good shake. And then the Danessa Myricks on this side. I like the mister on this one a lot better. It's much more fine. Interesting. We have an issue going on. I'm trying to smooth it out with my finger, but the Natasha Denona side, my under eyes are looking a little bit creasy and a little bit heavy. Not terrible, but the Danessa Myrick side, I think, looks a little bit more smooth still. You can definitely see the pores and texture more than the Danessa Myrick side. All right, we're going to go back into this little deer palette. I'm going to grab this little Morphe Ariel A18 brush, and it's very small. I'm just going to grab some of the bronzer shade and the finishing powder kind of mixed together. And we're going to go underneath here just to bring a little warmth under the eyes, kind of tie the look together. Okay. Now I'm going to go into this highlighter shade, and I'm going to grab it on this Huda Beauty little brush. And we're going to put that in the inner corner. It's just a really pretty gold highlighter. I'm going to show you my Jellyfish palette highlighter because I love it so much. And it makes it even more bright on the inner corner. Taking on the same little brush, and I'm going to make the inner corner here really pop. That is an inner corner highlight. So pretty. This is the completed look using all of these new products. I'm going to give you my initial first impressions. Natasha Denona foundation. I think it's beautiful. We'll just have to see how it wears on me. It was super radiant until I blurred it out with powder. But I've heard really good things about this being good for all skin types. So we will see about that. And then speaking of being blurred out, that Cali Ray powder is really, really nice. It's one of the most blurring powders I've seen in a while. It's really nice. These two setting sprays, we're just going to have to see how my makeup wears. But my first impression, I like this one better. Based off of the spray, how it comes out, and just how my makeup looks, I like the Danessa Myricks better. These brushes from Crystal Lee Cosmetics, they're really, really nice. If you are looking for new brushes and you want to support a small business, these are really good quality, and I'm very happy with my purchase. The Rhode Glazing Milk, you saw, I mean, it's probably a little too much hydration for my skin type, but it's a lovely product. I did like it. The Rhode Peptide Lip Tint, I don't know what people are talking about. I like it. Some people are saying it just wears right off. I've already had a few drinks of my soda here and everything's been fine. So I don't know. The Clio Kill Lash, the red bouncy lash, I wore it on this side and then the Maybelline Colossal on this side. I'm liking the Maybelline side a little bit better for some reason. I don't know what that's about, but not my favorite. I prefer the black. I mentioned that in my video, but just wanted to let you know. Lunar Beauty lip gloss and the Lunar Beauty Sculpt Stick. So good. I love supporting Lunar Beauty. I've never had a product really let me down from that brand, so I'm going to continue to support it. The Deer palette from Hourglass. I mentioned this during the video, but I wanted to purchase one that was more deep because all of the other palettes that I have are much lighter and work better for me in the fall and the winter time. So this one is perfect for summer. These blushes are vibrant and beautiful, but you can see how if you use them lightly, they look really good. I am so happy. I love the artwork. Hourglass always kills it with their packaging. So good. We're going to spray this. This is my new favorite scent, and I'm almost out of it, so I had to get it back up. I usually just spray a little bit of this and a little bit of the Kayali, but the combination of this is just magical. Danessa Myricks. That's the second time I've used the Color Fix stick and been kind of like, I don't know. So they're not my favorite, but we made it work. The Natasha Denona concealer side looks a little bit more heavy. It's creasing a little bit more. I've had my makeup done for about an hour now, and my oils are already trying to come through. So we're going to have to use some Invisimatte powder today. I can already see that, but I'm happy with it. I was happy to test out these new products for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. All right, that's it.